and always big to get you at Swartkops. We kick things off with the Elite Racing Lotus Challenge, and a big welcome to Elite Racing as a new sponsor joins Lotus Challenge after a long relationship with Sabat Batteries. At the front end, they'll all be chasing Jeff Kruger, the current and new reigning champion. Back-to-back victories for him in this class over the last 2 seasons makes him a very difficult man to catch. Off the line though, it's a good start from Andre Himan. He's going to have to push hard. You can see the wet conditions early in the morning definitely played a big role going into this first heat. Now start from Jeff Gable. He sits in about 10th place as they go through down towards turn 2. Hard on the brakes. Look out for Byron Oliver coming through the back end. And a great start, as always, from Jeff Kruger. He's left everybody else behind. Fast Fred Albert's there in the car 4, closing on the back end of the 99. Problems for Oliver as he pulls to the left-hand side there. Looks like that bright yellow car might have had some issues. Gearing's in 2nd place. It's Faulkner in 3rd. And Tommy Faulkner closing down on his good mate, trying to get ahead as quickly as he can. They come down on the braking markers and down into turn 4. But at the top of the hill, have a look at those tricky conditions. There's some wet patches still out on track, and it's going to make it very ginger on how you have to get onto the throttle and how you turn in on these cars as well. Very rapid little cars. 24 valve twin cam Toyota motors that they run in these, and absolutely bomb-proof engines on most of these machines. Makes it very, very competitive racing. It's literally just up to the skill of the drivers. As they come down onto the braking markers, Albert's under a bit of attack there, as you can see. Bit of issues coming through there, and slowly but surely making his way to the front is Himan. But in the background, oh, some big issues. Looks like that's the 94 car, the 24 car, Len Marshall, just getting a little bit out of shape. Fortunately getting back on, and oh, another car out of shape. As I said, it's very tricky out there. And Sean Hewitt being caught out there in the Elite Racing car. So doing the sponsors proud there. New sponsor on the series, and of course the man with Elite Racing on his car also getting out of shape. No worries for this man though. How smooth can you like to be? Jeff Kruger definitely going to be a threat to this championship again for his 3rd championship in a row. And this is the kind of pace he's got so early on. Look at that, pulling a massive gap over Gearing. They don't seem to have an answer. Thomas Faulkner currently in 3rd. And here comes Gable. Gable diving on the inside, looking for a chance to possibly get up and get into 4th place, and he's done it. He's got through on Johan Nel. Nel opened up the door into turn 4, and you do not want to do that if you've got the 9-9 on your tail. The chairman will definitely make you pay. You can see change of surface flags there going into this little tricky section. This is going to stay like this for a while. Hopefully the sun comes out, and the second heat is going to be in the dry. Gable now trying to pull a little bit of a margin over Johan Nel. Vivier's a little bit further back than what he'd like to be, but I think he's just been caught out by driving a little bit more gingerly than what they're used to. Gable is definitely on the move though, and he can see just up ahead there Thomas Faulkner. And in fact, Johan Nel hasn't let him go. He's going to go with Gable, the 79 and the 99, trying to close down there on the number 2 car from last year, Tommy Faulkner. Across the line, another lap completed. Oh man, that's just getting out of shape there properly. That's 16, one of the L-Class cars. And unfortunately, Roland Hopkins in the Vuma Petroleum, showing us that you don't have to have that much Vuma going through turn 7. You're not the first driver to do that, and you definitely won't be the last as you come into turn 8. Good recovery though, and back on track. With another lap down, at this stage, it's Andre Himan that is leading things out in the Class L battle. So you've got some work to do there. Roland Hopkins currently down in about 6th place, and starting to make his way through after that little spin. Let's see if he's able to get up a little bit higher than what he is right now. He certainly was up ahead of Jean de Toy and Peter Van Aert, and now looking to come back at them if he can. Battle in the mid-pack, also starting to rage there. Nice to see these guys fighting so hard. Andre Himan, that is the leader in Class L, and fighting with Class B competitors. Carl Scarp just ahead of him there, and Fast Fred Albert's also just in that pack, having some fun and games. Now coming under braking. Albert's on the inside. Trying to find a way through, can't quite do that just yet, but definitely looking for a chance if there's one there. Now into the double right hand at Kenwood. Oh, very difficult to get on the inside there. And you can see just how hard it is out there at this stage. Kind of changeable conditions, not exactly what these guys expected. And Van Aert has actually fallen back slightly from that Class L battle he was in. So good to see these guys. They do such an incredible job all around the country. Part and parcel of this weekend at the Passion for Speed, and then of course heading to become part of the historic tour, which comes back here to Swartkops in the very near future. It's been a great first race out of the Elite Racing Lotus Challenge, and they definitely are going to have to find something special to catch this man. Jeff Kruger has got it all done. Into the final turn through G&H Transport Corner. The checkered flag is on standby, and Henny the Flag gives him the checkered flag. And that's race 1 for the season in the bag for Jeff Kruger. The Universal Healthcare car taking the win there over Rob Gearing. Thomas Faulkner in 3rd place, Jeff Gable, ahead of Johan Nel, and Johan Vivier's down in 6th. Let's catch up with Jeff to see how that first race went.
First race for us went really well. Conditions were very, very tricky. The track was half damp, half dry, and it was tricky to choose which setup to start with, but I think we made the right call, and it started to dry towards the end, and we managed to pull a bit of a gap, so I'm very happy with that. So now the second race is going to start, starting from P1, so let's see what we can do from there.
Oh, there's a little bit of work to be done in the pit lane, as you can see, between the two heats of racing. And now with changeable conditions from this morning's racing into dry conditions this afternoon, definitely going to be a lot easier for these guys to go at it, like they normally do in the Lotus Challenge. It's a great start once again from Jeff Kruger. He's got off the line nicely. It's on the drier line, it's on the outside line, of course, that pole position, but usually on the inside at Swartkops, it makes a little bit of a difference. And you can see Thomas Falconer has capitalized on that. Falconer already up into second place, gearing down to third. In this mid-pack, just have a squiz there. There we can see, once again, the usual contenders. This time, a much better start, though, coming out of Roland Hopkins. Unfortunately, some issues there for the 21 car, and Honor Himan having to pull to the sideline and off the circuit right at the start. Look at that, 3x3, they're going to turn 4. It's so close between these guys. The only man that they're really not able to catch is Kruger, and you can see just why. How smooth you like it. Very nicely done. We saw how difficult it was to drive earlier on in this morning in the wet conditions and the tricky conditions, and now in the dry, he's starting to get into his own. But unfortunately for him, so are the rest of the pack. And they are led out by Thomas Falconer. Gable on their tail, it's the 79 of Johan Nel, and then Gearing. Gearing didn't quite get the start he wanted, but definitely will be in with a shot a little bit later on if he can find a way through on both Nel and Gable. And he's on the attack right now. Look at how he's forcing and looking for a chance to dive on the inside. He goes on the inside. Look at that, absolutely perfectly done. Has he got what it takes on the brakes? He might have. He might just get through. They go side by side through our cameras. We pan back to pick up on the battle just behind, and you can see, wow, Fast Fred is in the house. He's got a great pack of drivers following him through there. Carl Scarp is definitely looking to get ahead. We've got to change up though. Falconer's got a problem. Falconer seems to have a bit of an issue there. As he pulls to the side, you can see him just battling to get through turn 4, fighting the steering wheel. Maybe it's a little bit of a slow puncture, and it's not exactly the way he'd like to be finishing up, considering the fact that he was at the front end and in second place. They come under braking now for the top end of Sassel Corner. Late braking coming from the backpack. Whoa, and they're just squeezing each other out there. Great move there from the 5-3. David Kutsia just finding a way through in the Adlam Auto Racing machine. And of course his teammate Mackie Adlam not here this weekend to help him out, so he's all on his own sim. But a great move there to get up into third place in Class L. Speaking of third and fourth places, right now it is Kruger that leads out. At this stage in the race though, it looked like it might be Jeff Gable. No, in fact Thomas Falconer has found his way back again. He's got back ahead of Jeff Gable, and Gable sits in third. Oliver on the inside, good move there, sneaking through on the 36 of Carl Scarp. Scarp comes back at him though, side by side as the two of them head through turn 3. It's going to be side by side up that back straight if they stay like that, that's for sure. As the rest of Class L come under braking down into turn number 2. Jean de Toy, late braking and just keeping that pack out. But he's also trying to attack the drivers in front. Len Marshall is there, he goes alongside him, and they come side by side out of turn 3. Are we going to have 3x3 by the looks of things? Very close to. Oh yes, there you go. Spread out just enough to make it work. Philip Adicott just unfortunately having to take the brunt of that maneuver. And there you can see them going up the hill now. Who's going to have what it takes on the brakes at the top? Len Marshall still fighting hard there. Roland Hopkins looking for a win, in fact. That'll be a massive turnaround for him if he gets the win in Class L, considering, remember, he had that big spin in the wet this morning. It just shows you what the different conditions and what different drivers approve of. Some guys love it in the wet. Some guys just like it in the dry so they can give it everything they can. It just brings a big leveler, does the water. Byron Oliver still doing well, hanging on to the back end, looking for a chance to possibly get up into that top 5. But he's going to have to force a mistake out of Johan Nel and possibly out of Johan Viviers as well. Those two boys are going to definitely make it hard for Byron Oliver. Here we go, back to Class L. Once again, under braking into turn 2. Good move on the inside there, and once again, awesome driving coming out of David Kutsia. He just, oh, pity there. There you go, just gets it all wrong. Adicott under a bit of pressure, probably just trying to outbrake the guys as they went down into turn 2. He was too late and went off. We're heading down to the checkered flag as we go through Mix FM turn, all the way down the short little straight towards G&H Transport Corner. And look at that, 7.5 seconds down the road is second place Thomas Falconer. These boys are going to have to work hard to see what they can do about Jeff Kruger. Another victory in the bag there for Universal Healthcare. Adaptive Resources comes through for second. That's Tommy Falconer, and it's Rob Gearing in third. Let's catch up with Jeff Kruger after a great day in the Elite Racing Lotus.
Certainly can't complain about that. Race 2 was really good for us. Had a bit of a dice with Thomas in the beginning. We were side by side until turn 4 about, and then I managed to get ahead and pull a bit of a lead. So I was happy with that, but I must thank my dad for rebuilding the motor of the car. It's actually on point now. And big thanks to Universal Healthcare as well for supporting us this weekend and for the entire season. So we look forward to a successful season ahead, and we'll try our best to try be on top.